in.
Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to another lean recap for the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I see y'all rolling on in. Well, I ain't gonna say I'm in here right now, but y'all coming on in. It's a line around the building. Notice how I tell folks that's out the club. It's a line around the building.
Come on in. Come on in.
But how you doing, Antonio? How you doing?
I'm doing good. Getting to the end of the week, so it's going good.
Same. Listen, if I'm moving around in this chair, I'm trying to stay right here because there's a lot of shit behind my chair. I'm about to go home for the holidays for 3 weeks, so it's just all type of stuff back there. So I'm trying to stay in front of it. So if y'all see anything, y'all know I'm usually very clean, but baby, I'm packing, so I gotta
3 weeks.
So don't judge me. If you ever try to read me, you can never read my room, but today you may be able to because it's a mess. Who we got in the chat right now? We got Jen Bunny, Kid Cruddy, Alicia Garcia, Sean. How y'all doing? Jen Bunny, let me tell you something. Angie is definitely in charge of the girls. Or in the words of Alisa, let me tell you something, baby doll. Baby doll. Angie is definitely she has definitely snuck up and won me over this season, and I just hope we'll talk about it, but I hope that she does not fail us, and we'll talk about it very soon. But yeah, make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and we're gonna talk about look, we got Shantae in here. Well, hello there. You looking very festive.
I know I'm trying to turn on these earrings. And I was like, I'm trying to be late over these earrings. They're supposed to light up. I don't know. Okay. Hey.
We can't really see them. We can't. It's so bright. I don't know if I can't see no light, but I guess I can see. It don't matter.
I can see them flickering. Yeah.
Okay, I see some. I know. I'm weak. Sean said Angie is a weak boy. Okay, well, listen, we don't want to waste any time. We're going to get in so we can get out. We're going to lean in again, like this video, subscribe to the channel. We are moving into our holiday season. As of right now, our show should still go as planned. We're still going to have Potomac on Mondays, Beverly Hills on Wednesdays, and this show, which is coming to an end, will still be on Thursdays. But just stay tuned to the channel. You'll know, like, if we make any changes. I enjoy a little time, off, so we may take a week or so off, depending on whatever case may be as we get close to Christmas, but just stay subscribed and you'll know everything we need to know.
Push that button.
All right. So last week was very explosive of an episode. That is where Angie was kicked out of Meredith's bat mitzvah. Is that right?
Yes.
I'm saying it right, y'all. Y'all know I am not Jewish. I am, I said that last week. That ain't me. I don't know about that life. That's not me. But I want to make sure I say it correct for anyone that is watching, by the way. So in the beginning of this episode, we get 2 scenes simultaneously where Meredith is talking to her kids about the bar mitzvah. And Meredith basically just talks about how she was triggered from the slut shaming. She feels like, this is not the first time that Angie has done that. And Angie is just, in her scene is emotional. She says she was emotional about being kicked out. She didn't stop crying. And apparently at the end of the scene, we didn't see, but apparently Sean did speak, and Sean was just like, you should hear both sides. It sounds like they're advocating by saying that, she wasn't necessarily the one that started it. But I guess all Meredith heard was that she called her any type of slut, or she slut shamed her. So from that's how Meredith reacted. Meredith also brings up that Angie not only was slut shaming, but she has made fun of her hearing aids, her disability, and her kids assure her that she does not have a disability. She has an enhancement. And she's like, any thoughts on this or anything from the aftermath of the event? I know we talked about it last week, but anything from these 2 scenes that happened?
No, I mean, I'm glad they showed that scene of Sean. I mean, I do wish, she may have, would have been less reactive and, kind of got to the bottom of what actually, happened. But, at that point, she does not like Angie. So, she's going to automatically take the other person's side, especially being that Brooks had come and said, oh, Brittany's crying or whatever. So, yeah, I get it.
Do you think, Shantae, that she was right for throwing her out?
No, I don't. I think Meredith, she did not hear the whole story. She did not know both sides because at the end of the day, Brittany was the first one to, do the slut shaming that day, by saying that Angie probably, did such and such with her husband. Bronwyn is probably more to blame for running and telling and
True, very
instigating
true,
that.
very
But
true.
Angie came with the intention of, trying to make up with Meredith, and Meredith used a very flimsy excuse to keep up the beef and the mess and
Hmm.
throw her out when she did not hear Angie's side. So at the end of the day, um, I think Angie was right to be hurt because she swallowed her pride and all the beef and smoke that she always has for Meredith, to show
Yeah,
up at the event. And she got embarrassed by Meredith. I
Yeah,
don't believe she was crying all them days. That's like the first line that made me laugh. I was like, Angie, you
yeah,
were like
I agree, Shante. I was even
distraught.
laughing a little
Yeah.
bit when she was saying confessional,
yeah.
acting like she was crying. I was like, Angie, stop it.
Yeah. So Angie put 20 on 10 with like her reaction to it. But Meredith, I think, was wrong for not hearing all the sides.
Okay. Um, I mean, I see comments in the chat. There was one comment that I was going to put on the screen, but I can't find it. Um, oh, Jim Bunny was saying that the tension between Meredith and Angie been going on since season 3. It started last season,
Mhm.
actually. It was last season, right? I thought it was last season.
I
It's
thought it was last season too when they was like, "Oh, you want me to go there about the husband?" And then Angie was like, "Oh, you don't want to spread your legs to everybody or whatever."
yeah. It start. I thought it started last season because the first that season 3 was Jen Shaw's last season, right?
Yeah, that was Jen.
And I don't think Angie had an issue with anybody that season, but maybe Heather. I think it was. I think it was Heather that she
Heather
had
and
an issue
kind
with Heather. And
of
who else was on that season?
when Jen, she was like Jen owed her money for the party or whatever that she threw.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
that came afterwards. I mean, she was friends with her, and because Jen wasn't
I
at the
mean, yeah,
reunion.
yeah, yeah, but it was still season 3 though. So never
Yeah,
mind.
yeah, 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 yeah. All right, so we'll move past that. So the next scene was actually another heartfelt scene, and I really applaud Mira. Like I've always enjoyed Mira. I don't care about what y'all say or what people have said about these videos and whatever that people have talked about in the past and her grandmother and grandpa. I don't care. Get out of my face with it.
Yes.
I've always said that. If you go back to season 1, when I started, I've always been consistently, even when she didn't show up for the reunion, I still love it. You know what I'm saying? I do. I'm glad that she clocked in this season, and it's like actually, housewifing. But I've always been on her side. So in this scene, I'm just glad that we're seeing such a raw Mary. You know what I'm saying? It just makes me really grow to like her. I feel like we never really got to know Mary, but we're learning her a lot this season. We knew she was quirky. We knew she said random things. We knew that she just said whatever, was rude up, blah, blah. Like, don't mess with her. She'll call God for you. But in this scene and this whole season, since, she's really giving us a piece of her. So in this scene, she talks to Angie. And I think we talked about this last week, how we didn't, Mary did not confide into Angie initially. And when she talked, she was just like, whatever it is. And I think Angie was like, whatever it is, I'm here for whatever. So in this scene, she comes over and to Angie's house. First of all, Angie, God forbid she don't be in a horror movie, because if she was, she'd be dead. Because if she truly did not see Mary sitting on her couch, somebody sitting in her whole living room, my God, please help that lady. Sean, protect her, okay? But basically, they struggle over opening and pouring champagne. Thought that was kind of cute for them or whatever. And so then Mary basically tells Angie everything about Robert Jr. She goes in full detail, like word for word, the movie we saw in the scene 2 episodes ago or whatever. And she talks about how she felt like she was to blame, and she don't understand how she worked so hard. She said I guess she was trying to get pregnant for 4 years before she actually got pregnant, and how could someone think that they are staying in this world. So she talks about just how she doesn't have family, like she doesn't really know or have anyone to go to as far as like how to help her son, but she knows she has to do it. And she kind of reassures to her that it's not really your fault, because she speaks to her own mother's addiction. and that it's a disease, and that she is a great mother, just doing all the things to make her feel right. But I guess what really got to me was the confessional, because in the confessional, like, Mary was just going,
I
she was
know.
bawling, and I was just like, oh my god, like I just felt for her in that moment. Now the first scene when Robert Jr. announced to her what he was doing, it got me. But this scene got me more because seeing her more emotional, and you can tell it actually was like
Mhm.
affecting her or whatever. And so I'll get you guys' thoughts. She does decide that she doesn't know about Mexico at this moment. We find out later she does go, but it sounds like she's not sure, and she wants to take this time to, you know, um, give this to Robert Jr. But the one thing she does finish the scene off with is saying, "Now, Angie, I'm confiding in you, so this stays between us." And I'm gonna say this: I will ride by Angie through whatever, as long as she hold my homegirl's secret. We find out that she kept it. I mean, obviously it's
Mhm.
out now, but if we get to the reunion, we find out years from now, and she wouldn't find out that she didn't tell somebody, and then whatever with somebody else, or has a mayday and goes, I'm cutting Angie out. I'm telling you right now. Okay, but any
I don't
thoughts
think
on this scene? It was a great scene. I just love Mary. I always have, but I just
yeah.
love her more in this moment. Shante.
I don't think you'll have to cut Angie off because it was last week. Angie was just bawling about her mom,
Mhm.
struggling with addiction. So I thought she was the perfect person for Mary to confide in. I was like, look at God. Look at these two people who have loved ones in their life. It was like unofficial Al Anon going on in that scene because Angie did a great job listening and uplifting the fact that, addiction is a disease. Like, it's not your fault because any parent would want the best for their child, and when things go wrong you do kind of blame yourself. So I was bawling with Mary when she was talking about what did she do wrong to not make her son see his own worth when he was saying that how he felt like he was a saint and all those things. And Barry's light is just shining so bright this season. I always loved her as well. So I'm on the same train as Tez when it comes to just giving Mary all her flowers. But I'm glad more of the world and
Yeah.
viewers, are seeing her heart and that she does have perspective when dealing with these girls because she's dealing with a lot of things. So she don't take their mess because she's literally like fighting demons like addictions in her house. So kudos to Mary and kudos to Angie. I think Angie will hold water because of what she went through with her mom and addiction. And it was again chef's kiss with how they're handling the whole Robert and Mary storyline.
Mhm. Tonya?
Yeah, I thought it was an amazing scene. It was very touching. It was probably even more touching than maybe the first one because we just have never seen Mary in that light before. We've
Mhm.
always, seen her, be on the defense and stuff like that. So to see her be, so vulnerable and so emotional was good. And that's to me, what we always say, that's what makes a great housewife. Like, she really came in with good energy, this season,
Mhm.
and she came in with a amazing personal story as well. She hasn't had, tried to push any false narratives, any fake storylines. So I really appreciate what she's done this season. I did watch Heather and Brittany on Watch What Happens Live last night, and I'm pretty sure Angie didn't mention anything to anybody, just because even Heather was like, no, they legit have a real like live friendship. Like, it's
Well, you
not.
see them, you see her post, like they post and stuff,
Yeah, so
on
they
the
are.
Mhm.
page, and I've never seen that. Honestly, I mean, I know her and Meredith was cool, but I didn't really see that with them that much. I
Well,
bet
she said she never even been to Meredith rental property, so they
all.
can. That's what she did say that on the after show. She was like,
Shade.
she's only ever been to Angie's house. At a,
Yeah.
since she's been on, she's only ever been to Angie's house. So yeah,
I applaud Mary. Just obviously, we said it many times for sharing it. I mean, that's something that you share, and you just because in the world we live in, people could use that against her in any kind of way. So to share that and just be kind of, I feel like she's very confident. I feel like if it was spit at her any kind of way, she would definitely, I don't think she shared it for any type of monetary value for the show. I think it was something that was real. As somebody just said, like real reality TV, and I'm just like so happy that she shared it, just because it's like it just really opened up a lot. It opened up to people really like enjoying her and things like that. I feel like she was the one person on this casting, but they kind of got a lot of like slack about a lot of things. Others get it too, but like for no reason, right? In my opinion. And so looking at the comments, people just really be like, you know, they in awe. It's like she's won people over. So I'm happy that she has that redemption, as a lot of housewives get that, because I mean, to me, I feel like this is her redemption season for anything people may have thought about in the past, in my opinion.
She did say that she came into the season, season in a, happier. She was happy when she came into the season. She was in a much better space.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's also why we got a new Mary as well. We don't know, what was going on, I guess, in previous seasons, and she probably didn't feel secure enough in those friendships, with people that she may have had at that time to kind of divulge any type of personal situations that she had going on. But I like that she did put Angie on notice, kind of like, sometimes you're going through something, you just like, okay, I need to just tell one person, and put Angie on notice, like, hey, I'm finding you, don't with me.
No, right. Basically, like she was like, don't you dare. Don't you dare, Angie. And I know people were saying like, Angie she didn't really know how to take the conversation. She didn't know how to comfort her. Like, I don't think everybody has to react in the same way. I'll say this by myself. When people confide into me, like I don't really know what to do sometimes. Like, but sometimes just sitting there and listening is all you need. You don't have to rub somebody's back. You don't have to like say anything. I think maybe she didn't know what to say. I mean, she can't really relate, but all she can. I think what she did was great by assuring her it wasn't her fault. And just trying to comfort her in a moment where her friend was down. I don't think she needs to do anything else. She didn't need to cry even. Like, everybody does not react the same. We've heard people say many times, like even Candy, if you watch Atlanta, she said that when it comes to death, she does not have a reaction because, she has become very known to us. So everybody just reacts different. I think I didn't see an issue with her not like getting emotional and having a whole hysterical moment. Me personally, I didn't. So kudos and shout out to Angie for that, because Angie's that's my girl somewhat these days. All right, so they're going to PBR, Puerto Vallarta. Now, Puerto Vallarta is one of my favorite places to visit. I know it's Mexico, but I will say during the pandemic, baby, okay, Mexico was open and I was always in Puerto Vallarta taking this thing. I love that place. I went this year, I went last year. I've probably visited that place more places than I don't know, but I love that place. So they're going there. I'm glad they went.
Question.
Go ahead.
Is Puerto Vallarta near Tulum? Because I know a lot of people's going to Tulum too.
No.
Is it?
No, that's Cancun.
Oh, okay.
So Cancun and Tulum by each other. Puerto Vallarta is on the other side of Mexico, so it's closer to like if you were coming from like the West Coast, that's quicker for us to get there versus going like to Cancun. That other side, like where y'all live, is closer.
Okay.
I had a C in geography back when I was in school, so I know that much. Okay. So listen, I don't want to get too technical, so I'll be like, you don't know. Listen, the first degree, that's all I knew.
No, thank you.
You're so very welcome. So they travel and they are all at the airport. Lisa is a little upset because apparently Bronwyn brought everyone these little passport covers. Bronwyn asked Lisa, should she bring anything? Lisa said no. Bronwyn brought them anyway. Hey, whatever. So I guess that's gonna be an issue later. We find out that poor Bronwyn got towed up by a damn dog. I mean, I was expecting like a little nibble, but looking at that arm and that leg, baby, she looked like somebody off of Resident Evil. That thing towed her up. Okay. I was like, my God, Jesus Christ. Nonetheless, we find out that like once they get there, they have their drinks and they get on the bus or the van or whatever. And I think somebody said something about the bathroom being like pee on the floor, and Heather admits that she peed on the floor because it was turbulence. And I'm just like, Heather, you're disgusting. Like I would expect that from Whitney, but here you are openly admitting to peeing on the floor because there's turbulence. Now I don't sit down to pee, I can, but I mean I'm pretty sure that she could have did better. Like just because she didn't want to sit on the toilet, she pees on the floor. Disgusting. Heather, girl, I don't know what's going on with you, but the Ozempic got you going cuckoo. That's all I gotta say. Yeah. So they get there. Lisa gives everyone their villa assignments, and it's always a mess when it comes to housewives and rooms. So the assignment, there's two villas, but they're all rooming together in the two villas. So in the first villa, I think is Lisa, Heather, Meredith, and Brittany, and the other is Angie, Whitney, Mary, and Bronwyn. This already has Bronwyn upset because she doesn't understand why she's not in the room with her friend Lisa. And so she feels like something must be off, like something, maybe she pissed her off or something like that. She also feels like because she got bit up by a damn dog that she should at least be with her friend, right? I'm like, girl, but she had a long time. And also the stuff with Electra, right? So, she kind of briefly talks about that. We see Angie and Whitney are in their room talking about, Bronwyn getting kicked out the Mean Girls Club. Her basically like Lisa threw her to the side, and then Bronwyn comes in. Bronwyn, I mean, at this moment, we know that she's not really seeing eye to eye with really anybody right now. Maybe Mary, maybe Meredith, but everybody's like not really, because she kind of, I guess, threw Angie and Whitney under the bus, although she was right. They did say those things. But she threw them under the bus in front of Lisa. So she's all over the place right now, right? So Brahma just feels like, her relationship with Lisa has been kind of on the out since she joined this group of friends. And before I move forward, I'll stop here and just get any of y'all's thoughts on this scene. Anything here?
So with we see see them bring gifts all the time. So, that I'm sure we'll talk about it a little bit more, but that to me wasn't really, because they bring stuff, everybody, especially if they have their own businesses, their own little trinkets and jewelry and whatever's going on, they always bring something on these trips, whether they're hosting or not. So, and those passport covers were not cheap. Bronwyn said they were, by Judith Liebert. So they weren't like little cheap passport covers.
Okay, I don't know where he is.
Google her and some of her little
Judith who?
Judith Liebert. She does like all these little like these different type of handbags and stuff like that. It might be shaped like a cheeseburger, a damn cow titty, whatever.
Oh, not a cow titty.
That was extreme, but you know what I'm saying? She's like does very dramatic little pieces like that. So yeah, look that up. But I think with the room, Lisa, was she being a little, I think she was being just a little, still a little bit shady to Bronwyn. I said before, I don't think that Lisa and Bronwyn are as good as friends as Bronwyn may have thought they were. But I think as far as the room assignments go, that, based on how everybody's kind of getting into it with different people, that the way Lisa explained it, that might have been the best way to actually do it, because of course not going to put Brittany in the other one, and she is two girls that she's not getting along with.
Wow.
So
right, that's true.
It was just so Lisa did have a good thought process, behind it, like how she was gonna put everybody in whatever room. We definitely couldn't have Meredith and Angie together. Now, granted, she could have mixed it up, and it would have either been amazing, or and they would have got along, or it would have been some showdowns. I probably would have mixed it up a little bit. Let me see what these people gonna do, because we on a TV show, so yeah, we want to see if we can produce some type of little scene with mixing these people up and putting them in the same villas together.
Yeah, I agree. Did you have any thoughts on any of this?
Yes. When Heather was talking about the bathroom incident, it made me think of when she was in the limo and she was like just peeing on the seat last year during the trip. She does not care what she does and
He is
where.
nasty.
And I really feel like either, somebody needs to have a little intervention with her. Or maybe if she sees it on TV, she'll get to the point where she's embarrassed enough. But then the other part of me says, like, well, Heather likes the attention, so anything to make the episode, whether it's something nasty or not, she's gonna do. But when it comes to Bronwyn, the crash out was real. Like this girl was losing it over the rules so bad. And I just think Whitney also didn't help instigating, the whole, oh, your gut kicked out of the Mean Girls clique thing. So I think Bronwyn would have crashed out on her own, but Whitney did not help.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So things get interesting here. So we see a scene with Meredith and Lisa, and Lisa is just talking about how upset she is that Bronwyn brought gifts after she told her not to bring a gift. Meredith is happy that she is in the villa with Lisa because she doesn't want to be with Angie. She's like, "Thank God, girl. Wow, I'm so glad you did not put me over there with that heifer." Um, and then they just basically talk about how Angie has been out of control. Meredith talks to Lisa about how she felt about the event, and Lisa's just, is just like, well, Angie's gonna be on her best behavior. She better be on her best behavior. So then we found out that Meredith brought the gifts that. So when Angie stormed out of her party last week in last week's episode, she said, "I brought you a gift." And so I guess Meredith went to find out what that gift was, and she finds out that it's shampoo from Andy's salon. But the issue is that the shampoo is not sulfate free. And she says she has keratin in her hair, so she can't use this shampoo. So she's like, the audacity of her to give her this shampoo that she can't use that has sulfate in it. And I was just like, girl, what? This is why this franchise is so funny to me, because it's so stupid. But I was like, oh my God, that is messed up. Like, why would she do that to her? That's how I felt. Like, why would she do that to her? Dang, Angie. Like, I was invested in it.
Damn hair fall out. You want her hair to look dry like Brittani.
That's Meredith. For one, she did it to the right person, because Meredith is going to find anything to be like, how could you do this to me?
Yes.
Whatever it is.
It's like, yep, it has sulfate in it.
Yeah. Right. She's like, I mean, I have keratin in my hair. I can't use sulfur. Like, first of all, how would Angie know or care? Why would she know or care about what you use in your hair? It is a gift. My God, today.
But Angie called herself the hair expert, talking about high body count hair. So if she could see high body count hair, why can't she see keratin hair?
Oh gosh.
Oh, please. It is a look versus the texture. Now you trying. But no, that's good. I know what you mean. And so we'll get to the rest of it afterwards. Any thoughts on this before I move forward? Because I want to just get this out of the way about that. We'll come back to the shampoo later, but any thoughts about this?
Yeah, I love how Meredith's kids have her back. It's so heartwarming to watch too, because they was Googling right there with her with the ingredients. And I do think that Lisa and Meredith, they were almost like twins to me when they first came on season one, So I'm glad they're still close. You could still see in that scene, that closeness is still there. So I do think if Lisa had to choose between Bronwyn and Meredith, the natural choice would be Meredith, because they've been in the trenches longer in terms of this reality TV thing. And Lisa said herself last week that like she kind of feel like Heather's a little bit right about Bronwyn, because Bronwyn, she does talk to Lisa a little rough. I don't know if it's like displacement because her husband talked to her rough, and it's like she's safe going off on her friends, in a way that she can't go off on her husband. But I do feel like it's a little difficult probably to be friends with Bronwyn, just based, especially how she was acting this episode. And y'all were saying, she's interesting to watch, but like her, throwing people under the bus left and right is not going to work for her.
I agree with that.
I still like how she's, acting in this group, but I could definitely see why Lisa would kind of like feed her with the long spoon kind of thing, be like, I'll, hang out with you, but you're not someone that I trust as readily as like a Meredith.
Well, and Lisa shouldn't be trusted either. We've
I
seen
would say they both are.
We've seen what she
I don't.
love. And
I was gonna say who made Lisa the trust police, because honestly, like, I don't think she's like a backstabber, but she's not really loyal to. She flip flops, and Lisa puts herself in a lot of middle situations, and she always chooses a side. She never necessarily goes for what is maybe right or just quiet about it. She always has to choose a side, and it just in this moment, if you go back to everything this season, like Bronwyn may have been messy and done things, but I side with Bronwyn just because of the
Oh.
way that Lisa kind of has treated her from the beginning. I mean,
Yeah.
for somebody that's
Mm.
supposed to be your friend, I don't really get that from Lisa when it comes to Bronwyn. And I think the only thing that Bronwyn is asking from her, as we talked about, is for her to have her back a little, just in a sense to where, like, just if you go back to that scene that Bronwyn had with Lisa, I'm sorry, with Whitney and Angie, where they was telling her she's using you and she wants your, whatever. Like, she literally was like, I don't know Lisa to be that. We have not seen Lisa take up for Bronwyn in any instance, like not even a slight moment. So I just feel like personally, I still side with Bronwyn in this
Mm.
moment. That's just
But
me.
what about Heather? Was Heather wrong about Bronwyn?
Heather is not Heather is invalid. Because
Is that
she Heather came in this approach wrong from the beginning.
Yeah.
She tried
Mhm.
to say Brown was talking to people behind people's backs and things like that. She was not. And even when it was proven that she was not, she still went forward with it. She made herself a victim of something that she started because someone did it back to her.
Yeah.
When she actually was the one that did say things, but she, it's just like no, Heather, she does not have a, to me, incredible. No, no, no,
Well,
no.
it's that because you said that Lisa was the trust police, but I think Heather put it in Lisa's head that Bronwyn was not to be trusted. And then Lisa last week's confession was like, yeah, Heather's actually a little bit right. So I don't think Lisa was policing the trust, but Heather put it in everyone's head, not to trust Brown. And I think Lisa's more believing Heather. But I'm not entirely. Do you also think
I
Heather
just
It's
is wrong?
crazy
the
that
thing with Heather too is that Lisa and Heather, their friendship,
Mm.
I don't really care. I have not. We all know that Heather and Whitney wanted to be friends with Lisa since season one. If you're watching the show,
True. That's true.
the moment they got it, it was just like, okay, like they don't even mesh well together as friends. They don't. No, Heather is messy. She's messy all season. I don't think she really is writing anything this season other than now she ain't right. Nothing. I ain't got nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, Heather's messy. She been stirring the pot all season. Let's not forget. Let's not let Bronwyn's little mess that she caused in one episode like go over everything that Heather's done all season. Because she really has
Facts.
been messy all season. That's
You're
just what
right.
I've seen.
and I still ain't forgiving that slut for like lying and having people do all that work and stuff about this black eye and thinking,
That's
you
true.
know, she's just her character is untrustworthy to me forever. Like it ain't changing over here. Like Heather's some bullshit.
Sean, I want to say, yes, they're grown, they can stand on their own, but on a show like this, where people are constantly saying, you said this, you said that, no shade, you kind of need somebody to be like, well, no, that wasn't said.
Right.
You need
Mhm.
someone to kind of have your back a little bit, because if not, it's just people just go with the first thing that's heard. So if this is real life, I agree, but this is a show. And
Mhm.
we don't get flashbacks until later on. They don't see the show. So someone saying, actually, it was said this way could actually diffuse a lot of these issues, but they don't
Mhm.
because nobody's saying that. Like Lisa, she just sit back there and do this.
And nobody wants to hear them continuously because the more nobody steps in and say, "Oh, it actually did happen this way," or "It happened this
Yeah,
person's blah blah
it
blah,"
happens a lot.
the
In
more
this
they're gonna
episode, I
argue
will
about the
say this.
same thing.
Yeah, no, I
Mhm.
agree. I completely agree. This episode, it happened a lot. We're gonna talk about that. Let's move
Mhm.
forward to the next part because that's I actually want to get into that too. So,
Let's do it.
they go to lunch or whatever, and Brittany announces that she has first of all she has an announcement, and everyone's like, "Oh God, another announcement from Brittany." So you know, she says that she's made progress with one of her daughters to the point to where her daughter spent the night. And I was like, ooh, confetti. No, for real, I'm happy for her. But it's like she was kind of upset in her confession that nobody was just like celebrating that. I think people are just kind of tired of hearing Brittany speak. Because she's been speaking so much about these men that honestly, the first time we hear something that is actually, to celebrate, we don't care because we're tired of hearing what you got to say. Um, she's still funny to me though, in a way. But they ask about the rooms because they brush on past her and her daughter spending the night over like woo confetti. And they ask about the rooms, how everyone likes the rooms, and Bronwyn speaks up and just says that, she's in a room with people that she isn't speaking with, and Lisa's like, "Wait, you aren't speaking to them?" And I was like, "This is such a gaslighter." Like, you know damn well she ain't talking to them two girls. I mean, they don't have the biggest beef, but she just threw them under the bus for you.
Yeah.
Like literally 2 episodes ago. But Lisa's like, "Wait, you aren't speaking to them?" And so Brittany, she found her voice and a new friend. She said, "Well, maybe because she just likes me better than you." And Braun was like, "I'm not talking to you. I need you to be quiet." Whitney in the back is like, "Girl, you don't realize that she's using you, I mean, she ain't your friend." At this rate, everybody's just throwing Brittany's little porn star hair around the table. Everybody's friends with her at this point, right? It's just crazy. Um, and so Whitney says that usually on the trip that they pick their own rooms, and Lisa's like, "Well, this is my trip, so I do what I want." Bronwyn is trying to speak. She feels like Lisa's not listening per usual. And at this moment, I didn't really know what Bronwyn was saying at first, but I had to watch it back like twice because she was like, "You got so much bass in your voice," and it's almost like she was saying that Lisa was trying to talk to her crazy. But I felt like, Brown was talking to her crazy. I was kind of confused on what was happening. Maybe we missed the scene, right? Nonetheless, Brittany keeps trying to speak, and then Brahman is just like, just hush, just hush. Brahman wants Lisa to listen. And it gets into a whole battle about Lisa saying that Brahman is ungrateful for the trip that she provided, the room and stuff like that, which takes Brahman back to her anniversary trip where she felt like Lisa was ungrateful. And then Lisa brings up the whole flying and coach thing, and she's like, she doesn't really fly and coach. But she was like, "Well, I flew you here." She was like, "But you're flying first class." And she's like, "Okay, well then why didn't you something about the private jet?" And she was like, "Well, I used that money to buy me and my husband a trip to London this summer." So it goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth about his flight. And I was just like, "Oh my God." Brittany ends the scene by saying, "Well, I ain't switching my room. I ain't moving." She said, "Well, I don't know what you want, but I'm not moving. I'm gonna be in this room with my new best friend, Lisa."
That is really basically
That's literally what she said.
Brittany said, "I'm over here and I ain't
I'm over here and I ain't changing. I ain't going nowhere." And I was just like, "Okay, Brittany, you better stay your ground, honey." Antonio, what are your thoughts on this whole exchange? How do you feel about Bronwyn addressing it? Because clearly it made her upset. Do you think she did too much? Do you think Lisa kind of like, because Lisa honestly didn't really do or say a lot in this scene. She just kind of was like, she would talk, but she wasn't really addressing anything. She acted like there was no issue when I guess Bronwyn just wanted to say, "Well, you put me in this room. Do we have a problem?" And I don't know. That's what I got from it. What's your thoughts?
The first part of that, when the whole them walking up to the bar and everything, one thing I will say about Lisa Barlow is she is gonna plug the hell out of Vita tequila. Like any chance she gets, she is gonna plug it, and y'all gonna know that's what we drinking. When Brittany, made her announcement, I was like, even myself was like, "Oh Lord." And they really didn't care. I think they kind of over Brittany. I think they, she's so dingy and such a airhead. They just like, "Okay, girl, you run around here telling us all this stuff about these, different 3-4 men that you dating in your spreadsheet of guys." But, this is the first time we done heard, about, your situation with your kids and what's going on with that. I would think, in regards to that, as a friend, and clearly Brittany loves being on the show and she wants to be on the show because she's always trying to make a moment. To me, it seemed like, as opposed to, give us a little bit of your dating life and what you got going on there, but you should probably lean into that story a lot more as well to make you more relatable and make people, kind of take a liking to you and find that you do have some type of depth other than you just got a spreadsheet of guys that you done met off Tinder and you kind of, switch them in and out as you see fit. The thing with Bronwyn and Lisa, I think that Bronwyn thought that she, what she did and what she said in the car about, they was talking mess or whatever, talking about, Whitney and talking mess about Heather and all of that. I do think that she thought that was going to get her back into like first place and as it relates to Lisa's friend list. Like, on MySpace, they used to have that top 5 or top 2. She thought she was going to be back in that top spot, and it just didn't, work out that way. Like, But I do think that, because it wasn't the issue of what kind of room she got, in which we see that a lot of time with housewives when they're on these trips, they don't like the actual room. So it wasn't the room, because the room was amazing. It was the fact that she wasn't with Lisa. And that, to me, I like Bronwyn. I think she's had a great first season, but that was just like, girl, get over it.
Yeah.
Like, move on. So, and then Brittany, not making it any better, and her and like, oh, well, maybe she likes me better, but not even knowing that she is really just she is disposable, really, at this time. Like,
every part of the table. Mind you, she came in as Heather's friend. This is supposed to be Heather's friend. We would not know that that's Heather's friend.
We would not, because Heather drags that girl.
Heather over here was like, this is my friend Lisa, girl. I'm good. Everybody next to Lisa like this. What's up? Everybody next to Lisa like, we good over here with Lisa. This is crazy.
They like, I'm rolling with Big Barlow.
Right.
That's what they call Lisa. They like, where you at? Oh, I'm with Big Barlow.
I like Big Barlow.
Big Barlow. And they don't put the R in it. It's like Big Barlow. Bahlow. They don't put the R in it. That's what they
Barlow.
Yeah. She clearly is in charge of the girls, because it's like, even when Whitney tried to come at her, she was like, listen, I chose the room this time. What? And I think
they've always
confidence
wanted to be Lisa's friend, though. Like, Lisa, I would say Lisa clearly was that girl, is that girl, or whatever, because they want her attention. Like, they want to be her friend that badly, even if she got mediocre tequila or whatever it is. But them girls, they want to be in Lisa's presence. Lisa is clearly that girl.
Listen, I just come in here from Amanda. Everybody wants to be Lisa's friend except Mary, because she don't care. Mary is probably the only one that does not care. She truly does not care about Lisa, her tequila. She probably don't even drink it. She probably be like, I don't want that.
We know Mary only drink Dom Perignon from 2000.
That is true. That is true. She only drinks champagne. That's true.
Mary told Lisa her tequila was killing people, remember? It's like, Mary does
not is killing people.
She said your tequila is
killing.
Well,
thank God we still got tears here.
Well, I had some and I didn't die. So listen, I love Mary, but I don't think that's true. Maybe it's killing other people, but it didn't kill me. Okay, when I had it. And I have another Instagram follower that just ordered some for his birthday too. So whatever. Okay, so things get interesting after that, because they actually go to dinner. As they're walking up to dinner, because the man comes over, it's just like, hey, your table's ready. And they get up and they start going. Lisa and Bronwyn are having a whole little back and forth as they get up from the host stand to the table. They're going back and forth. I mean, cursing and saying things. It's giving like you talking like arguing with your child. Like, you don't want to sit down, but you're like, hey, the table ready. Like, it's just they going back and forth. It's kind of funny because they were still going. And Bronwyn was upset still. Lisa was just trying to maintain composure and save face, but Bronwyn did not care. They go and sit down. And as they sit down, this part really tickled me. I laughed so hard because when they sit down, Angie has this bag in her hand, and it's a gift from Meredith. And she's like, oh my God, this is a gift for me. So when she opens the bag and she sees the shampoo, Angie's face was like,
I knew it was about to go down.
Angie's face took me out because she was so, it's like she wanted to laugh, but she was so gagged. It took me out. I ain't gonna lie, I laughed so hard. She's like, so you brought this gift back, and Meredith was like, well, you said you wanted your gifts back, and then Angie's like, did I say I want my gifts back? And Meredith was like, well, I was told you did. And she was like, well, who said it? And so they didn't say who said it, right? We didn't get to the bottom of that. Brittany interjects was like, well, honestly, I would have gave it back too. I'm the reason why you got kicked out anyway. I would have gave it back, So then Angie's just like, Brittany, like, please stop. And they go back and forth for a second before Angie gets up and she hands her the bag of shampoo. And first of all, it sounded like a pin drop. And everybody said, Meredith said, wow. Wow. So, Brittany is just like, you threw a bag of shampoo. I mean, she was like, I didn't throw it at you. I didn't know the bag was upside down. It fell out. I handed it to you. And I'm just like, what is going on? Um, but as she does give it to us, she does tell us to take the shampoo because your hair is fucking fried, is what she says.
She needed.
But she does say it was an accident. Brittany talks about how she was slut shamed at the party. Bronwyn says that's not what happened, and Bronwyn goes down takes us down memory lane as to showing us that Brittany was the one that started the whole slut conversation before the actual bar mitzvah, like earlier that day when they was outside. And so then it becomes a thing of they discussing. It went from 3 guys to 8 guys to 15 guys in this episode. I don't really at this point, I don't know how many people Brittany's doing,
But they
but
brought up
clearly,
accolades like, go girl, she only said 3. Stop playing.
well, Meredith said she said 3, or whatever. And I think Brittany was trying to pull Heather in to help her out with something that they talked about because she said that she wasn't effing somebody, effing guy, and then Heather was like, I don't recall there being a conversation of effing. But we did find out that Angie did. What's her name? Shit. Brittany did tell Angie that she was doing 3 guys. Like she confirmed to her. She was like, "You're doing 3 guys." She was like, "Well, so she'll see." I mean, she didn't make it up. I thought she made it up. Honestly, I didn't know
She
where it
didn't
came
make it
from.
up.
She did not make it up. She just threw it out there. It becomes a thing where Lisa gets involved, basically trying to get Angie to apologize for slut shaming her, and then Brittany just goes on and on and on. It becomes a thing where it's Lisa, Meredith, and Brittany versus Angie. Meredith's like, that is enough. And Brittany is just splitting out things that you said my hair was slutty. You said I had porn star tits. Like she just going down the list of all the things that what's her name said to her. And Angie, she's kind of quiet for me. She's just trying to, because it's 3 people talking to her at once. But any thoughts here on this scene? It was a whole mess. I knew the moment that Angie got that bag and she looked in that bag, it was gonna go down. They had just sat down, but the face that she made when she looked in that bag and saw what it was is priceless. I cannot. I'm about to save it as a meme because she was so gagged. I love when a housewife is gagged and they want to like they're truly gagged. And she was gagged. It's Shantae.
Yeah, I think Angie's face when she walked up to the table and saw the bag was priceless. Bronwyn and Lisa were going on for a little too long, so I'm glad they broke it up with
Yeah.
the Meredith and Angie fight. But I do think that Angie could have hurt somebody with that bag, though. It was very, very different. Like, remember when Mia like even threw the water, right? Or whatever was it the
Yeah.
water and the glass at Wendy and everybody was outraged. It's very interesting how, Angie could throw all these big bottles, at someone and you don't see the kind of outrage, I think that someone could have gotten hurt. And, she was saying, oh, she didn't know the bag was upside down, but you were throwing a bag of heavy things. Like, come on. Like, so I did feel sorry for Brittany there, but Brittany was feeling herself that scene, though. She should not have kept inserting herself when people were trying to resolve things. She should have learned her lesson when Bronwyn already, stopped her from getting it with Lisa. But then she also inserted herself with the Angie and Meredith conversation too. So in some ways, I feel sorry for Brittany because she could have gotten hurt. That was very bad. That was very dangerous. But at the end of the day, I think she's feeling herself a little too much being in that room, and she got some of Lisa's courage or something rubbed off on her because if I was her, I would have been stopped and turned myself, and then Heather had to go embarrass her and bring her back down to size at the end, talking about, you know, her being a hypocrite and all that stuff. But Brittany, I feel like she's not learning her lessons. Every chance
Mm-mm.
they get, these girls embarrass her, and she should have stayed out of these fights.
Yeah.
Brittany, she does get dragged every time she opens her mouth.
Every
Even
time.
the drag wasn't it's intended for her. She always gets dragged, but I do feel like she deserves some discipline. Um, I do. She always getting in something, and I don't think that, you know, I guess the comparing that to what happened with Mia and Wendy, to me, Shantae, it's like two different things, because it's not like Angie took those big bottles of shampoo out and was like throwing them like a football, you know, at Brittany's face or anything like that. She did kind of take the bag and kind of like dropped it almost, instead of letting Brittany actually, you know, get it. But I think that Brittany is going to have to learn that she doesn't need to be involved in every fight. I understand that she's trying to, you know, make her path forward and who she is as a friend of the Housewives or whatever, but she doesn't have to be involved in everything. And I don't like the putting sauce on stuff, as some like to say. I like to call it lies. I don't like that lady didn't slut shame you. You definitely started it, and you know that you did. And she didn't say that you were doing 15 guys. She definitely said it was 3. She said it. And I just think that I don't think she did it to slut shame her. I agree with, you know, what Heather said. I just think she did it to show how much of a hypocrite Brittany actually, you know, Brittany actually is. Because even when they were at the point where they were reading the flowers and they did the flashback during this episode, she did, you know, admit like this, oh yeah, I'm dating or doing 3 guys. My dad is, you know, dating 8 different women and stuff like that. So it's kind of like, don't be outraged later on when it comes back to you, and don't take it and lie about it to get in the good graces of other people, because you feel like they can be more of an asset to you than the other person. So I'm, you know, Brittany's delusional. I think she's dumb. I think she's stupid. I think she's airheaded. I do like to laugh at her, and I maybe she'll come back next season. They'll drag her some more, whatever it is. But you know, that's it.
Okay. So to close out this episode, we kind of talked about it a little bit already, but this is where, so Angie was kind of quiet, you know, after they were kind of coming at her, and Brittany's, you know, spitting out everything that she called her. Meredith's upset. Lisa's upset. Meredith asks Angie, why did she come? And I'm like, because you invited her. I'm like, Meredith, you invited a girl. But she asked her, like, why did you come? Why did you come? And so Angie explains that she wanted to move forward with her. She, you know, she knows they have an issue, but she thought it was she had never been to one and all these things like that. But she said she was embarrassed and blindsided by getting kicked out. This is where we find out, I kind of said it earlier, that Bronwyn mentioned that Brittany was the one that started the slut shaming. We see the flashbacks or whatever. And you know what, I'm weak at. Angie says, "Let's not insult porn stars." I don't know if she was saying, Brittany, you're not that great to be a porn star.
Exactly. That's exactly what I
She told that lady, "Let's not insult porn stars." And Brittany said, Brittany stop catching strays. I was just hollering because who thinks about that? Like, baby, you're not even cute, nothing to be a porn star. Like, don't even give yourself all of that. My God, today that is some mess right there to say to somebody. But baby, I ain't gonna lie to you, Angie is really quick, and she just be saying stuff, and it be so funny. I can't help but laugh. That lady she has a mouth. When she has a mouth, she has it. And so Lisa, this is where Lisa feels like, you know, Angie was slut shaming her. But this is where Heather says, no, she was basically saying she was a hypocrite because, I mean, you know, you're a Mormon, but you're drinking. You're a Mormon, but you're having these guys and things like that. So I'm glad that Heather said that, because honestly, I don't know. I didn't get slut shaming either. The comment I thought when she made it very clear at Mary's house was definitely saying like, okay, you complaining about wine, but you do this, you do that. It was basically saying she was hypocritical. I don't know how they got slut shaming. I mean, yes, she said she had slutty hair, and you know, what's she called it? Hand job hair. What was it called?
High body count hair.
High body count hair, hand job hair, same thing. You know, I may got some hand job hair. Listen, she didn't think of that one, but that's for me. So if you see that somewhere, hey, hand job hair. So I knew when she said that, but I didn't think she was slut. She wasn't calling her a slut. She just saying, girl, you look a mess. You know, you look a hot mess. You look cheap. You look cheap. That's what I think she was trying to say. So then Brittany, Angie then brings up, I guess there was a moment where Brittany was in the bathroom showing off her nice lingerie and things like that. And this Brittany goes into a whole speech about I can do what I want and I can do what I want to do because this is a very sex forward world. And they like sex forward, mean sex positive. I was like, oh, Brittany, please just hush. Please just be quiet. But the best thing about this scene, and I don't know how long it's gonna last, is that once Meredith sees and hears other sides of what happened, she stops the conversation and she's just like, Angie, I want to apologize. She said she was triggered by everything that happened, but she wants to apologize. And Angie also apologizes, and they don't even go into a but. It was just let's just enjoy this moment. And I thought that was really good because it's just
good.
like you kind of get tired of seeing the same thing, same thing, same thing. We know why this all started, but I'm glad that at least in this moment they were able to put a pin in it and just be like, you know what? And I think this is Meredith's. She obviously apologized, but I'm glad she was able to do it in this moment, not in a one-on-one scene. Later on, she did it like moment once everybody expressed what the hell happened. Mind you, Lisa should have been more of speaking on what actually happened. It took Heather, it took Bronwyn, everybody else to kind of be like, this is what happened, this is what was said for Meredith to do that. And I hate that. I really hope I don't mind Meredith and Lisa being friends, but I like them better when they weren't friends, actually, because they kind of enable the delusion of each. It's kind of crazy. In the first season and second season, when they were friends or whatever, I didn't really see it, but I never understood their friendship. I didn't think they were a good fit, but they fit so well because they enable each other, which is crazy. They both sit around and just play victim about whatever, and they get away with it. So, yeah. So that's how the episode ends. Next week they're still in PBR, Puerto Vallarta, and there's going to be this is where I think Bronwyn talks more about her marriage, and then we'll see more of the issues they have. So, any final thoughts on the episode?
I like the way that this episode ended in regards to Angie and Meredith, and Angie saying, hey, let's just, Brittany, I'm tired of you. I'm tired of dragging you. Let me just talk to Meredith. And I'm glad that they were able to really get a better understanding of what occurred. So I am glad that, Bronwyn and those people spoke up, because Lisa at that point was even like, Brittany, did you start it? And Brittany was like, so it was kind of like, yeah, I can't really fuck with nobody like that. But that's just me and my own regular, non-reality TV life. But but I am glad that they were able to, just talk and enjoy the moment at that time. From what Heather and with what they said on Watch What Happens Live, I guess they filmed the reunion last week. They are still, in I guess in a pretty good space. Salt Lake City.
No, I'm saying Angie. You said
Angie and Meredith are still in a pretty good space as well, even after the reunion, from what Heather has said. So maybe we'll see something different, for season 6. But
we saw, he did tease that he said it was a very good reunion. He said it was possibly 3 parts. I'm like, oof, you know how I feel about those. I mean, they may actually do well with, but you know how I feel about. We only really need 2, y'all. We only need
2 because some of this.
But he said that there was a surprise, I guess, reconciliation. So somebody, whatever. So I don't know who that would be. Maybe it's Whitney and Lisa. That's what I would think. Because if Angie and Meredith, that wouldn't surprise me. Angie and Meredith's issue is like there's issues, but seeing this episode, it showed me that there's like hope that they can actually coexist and be okay.
Yeah,
I think they're both tired of fighting each other too, honestly.
You know who I think it is, the surprise? Or it would be even better if it was Lisa and Mary over the whole R word and then the son struggling. Because I think if Lisa sees just how bad Mary was, going through it with her son, as a mom, her heart should go out to her. So I think it would be nice. And it would be even more of a surprise if it's Mary and Lisa, right?
I don't want to see it.
Why you don't want to see it? Why?
Mary does not like Lisa.
She don't.
But still, from mother to mother, I'm sure they could bye.
That to me, that's not gonna make my heart smile at all. Oh. I mean, none of it is actually. That's like I get it, but we don't need at this moment. I think everyone else will probably pour out to, because I think they said that all the ladies reached out to her
except Lisa.
except Lisa.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, but the thing is about that, I don't really want to see that because we didn't see it on the show. Like, why are we seeing y'all make up about something we didn't see? I don't want to see no 3 flashbacks.
That's
why
true.
we didn't get it on the show so I can see what the hell was said. I don't want y'all to cut and edit like 5-second clips. Like, I don't want that. So honestly, I don't care. And I think whether they make up or not, I don't think Mary really cares for Lisa. She never has. I think she looks at Lisa like probably the worst person. She already said it, the worst person in the world. Like something like that, right? She don't like her. I think she can tolerate Whitney and Heather, anybody else.
Mary said Lisa don't even get her nutrients.
Right. Like, I don't think she likes her. But we'll see. We'll see.
Said your kids need nutrients.
Oh, you're right about that. Angie, I thought Angie was going at Meredith in season. No, I thought that was season 4, not season 3. Who was on season 3? That girl Dina. Remember that girl Dina?
Dana was a friend, but I think Dana was a actual snowflake holder. I think.
No, she was a friend.
They were both friends.
They both were friends.
Oh, okay.
Because we had both of them, and we had Angie H. I think.
Right. That's
yeah.
And the season after that was Jenny Wynn's season.
No, that was the season before.
Jenny was season 2.
Jenny was season 2.
Yeah, she was season 2. Because that was Mary's. That's the season that Mary finished off on. She didn't come back season 3 at all.
I wouldn't have came back either if they let that girl like assault me like that at the party and no one said anything.
Now that was a real throw. Now somebody could have really got hurt right there.
Yes.
I mean, you know, if you get hit upside the head with a big shampoo bottle, it's gonna hurt, right? Yeah, I mean, I get it. But that was, that was different. So, Angie definitely was wrong. I like Angie. I do want her to stop just throwing stuff because it looks like she's gonna do it again to Lisa. We started a lot with Jen Shaw, and I just I don't like that, but it's gonna get old. As I said,
can't go any further than what she kind of went this season, because it should go into the territory of being people starting to think she's a bully or she's unbearable. Things like
and they're already kind of like leaning towards that. I see coming, so hopefully she doesn't go. Hopefully she stops it here. Like at the reunion, they'd be like, "Girl, like they told Portia, you cannot put your hands on anybody." Like they're gonna say, Angie, you cannot put your hands, and she gonna say, "Didn't you choke somebody?"
And they gonna say, if I did, I was smart enough to do it off camera.
Listen, I'm just saying. You know how they do our black queens? They be acting like they just be over there just doing all this, and they don't be doing all that. They be keep tucking a little wig in here. Dang. All right, we got one call in the queue. I'm gonna let him on. Then we're gonna get out of here. That's when I realized Meredith doesn't really have Mary's back. Very true. Make sure y'all like this video and subscribe. Again, we're gonna be here for the remainder of the season. We have, I think, maybe 2 more episodes left. I hope they finish it off on the trip. I'm sure they are. I think they like that formula that they did it last year. I mean, they had to end it last year, but hopefully they finish off on the trip and they be there, because we don't need to go back to Salt Lake City and see any more snow, any more sleighs, and nothing. It's already Christmas time. We need nothing else to do with no cold. So like the video, subscribe. We see y'all for Potomac. We see y'all for Beverly Hills. Our caller for today is going to be Ronnie. Who is this up here today, child? I can't.
So we got some high body count hair from Taylor Dane of the 80s. Okay. Yep. It's all the way to the sky. Listen, I had no idea that this season would be as compelling as it is. I didn't even go into it from the beginning, but the way these dynamics are so split up, and there's the quirkiness, there's the frustration, there's the loyalty issues. I really enjoy it. I gotta say my MVPs for this episode were, of course, Mary, because it did feel insanely authentic on all levels, almost as if she did get caught like in shock that all this was going on, and she didn't really bother to be guarded. She went with it, and it was just a really beautiful scene, and I love that Angie was there for her and all that stuff. And honestly, I may be in the unpopular opinion, but I liked Brittani this episode. I think she is doing this ignorance is bliss thing. I feel like she tried hard at the beginning of the season and it didn't really work, and now she's just kind of throwing anything at the wall and seeing what sticks, but she's kind of still having fun with it. I feel like, yes, you need some characters to really buck up and get loud or whatever the case. She's kind of playing quirky and goofy, and I don't think she's that dumb. I think she's just playing it that way, you know. And I think the hardest part for the people who are trying to interact with her is they really just want to know a thing or two about her. What is the deal with the daughters? What is the deal with who you're actually dating? And what she's doing weirdly, but again, I think it's ignorance is bliss and she's playing around, is that she's making it like they're attacking her or this, that, or the other. And I mean, I don't think there was any shaming involved, but boy, all that being said, I still had a really fun time watching her. And I always give notes or credibility to if the cast member could do really good on Watch What Happens Live. And I don't know, you guys, I really loved her energy on Watch What Happens Live. So I'm in on Brittani for some reason, and I didn't think I would be at the beginning. I think there is a charm about her, and it's a well casted group. I don't know if you guys think the same about Brittani, but that's how I feel. And then the only other thing I'll say about this episode is I still can't understand two things. The Bronwyn, like, whoa, she's the greatest thing since sliced bread. I don't like get how big, like her. She's been okay, but I don't really get how amazing she's been. And then in the particular argument, it almost felt like the entire thing was on the projection of she did what she did, and she said, I'm going to go first class. You're not going to go first class, Lisa, on the trip that I do. And she was kind of holding that projection like, oh, Lisa, you're getting back at me. But she didn't say that. And but then it kept coming out. Like, that's where like the conversation went. So it was just weird. And I don't know. It just was very unfun to watch, much like her confessional makeup. It was unfun to watch. But I mean, she's compelling, but I don't think I wouldn't rate her like, oh, she's a 10 this season. She's like average to me.
Well, that's why you got your square running, so you can get to say what you want to say, and we say what we want to say.
Do you really like her a lot?
I thought she was better. I thought she was on an incline. The only reason that she's declining to me in a sense is because I really want her to stop trying to be Lisa's friend. She's already seen what she needs to see, but it's like even when she's like letting her have it, she's still reaching out for Lisa to be like be my friend, like be my friend. And that's one thing I don't like. I don't like a person that's like pick me, I don't like that.
Right.
She started out stronger. And then I still like her though, because she clearly can stand up for herself. She's not fake. She is messy. But I just want her to leave that Lisa thing alone. And hopefully if she comes back next season, which I don't think she will because her man is not going to have it. I want her to just stand. Like when you're shown with someone else, just take it and let it be that. Stop trying to.
She certainly is a showstopper. So even though I was more on Lisa's side in that argument, because again, it felt like a projection that led to it being exactly what I just stated. But anyway, because I say she's not a 10, it doesn't mean I don't think she's bad. Yeah. I think she's okay. She's definitely compelling, that I will say. But what gets me about her, two things, is are we getting tension from her on the basis of her juggling this newfound life, even being on the show, this new camaraderie with the girls, but then like the odd, I have to follow these certain rules that Todd puts in front of me. Like that is an intriguing thing that I am just like thinking she'll get a second season. I know, Tez, you said you might think she might not. I
kind of think because of him.
No, I think she'll get a second season. I don't know.
She'll definitely get one, but I don't know if he's going to want her to be. I mean, he does not want to be on the camera. And husbands have been a large reason for a lot of women not being on these shows. I mean, we can go back to Shamia. Shamia just got her peach. Shamia's supposed to be on this show in Atlanta season 10 and 9. It wasn't happening for reasons like that, allegedly. So I just know that, seeing him on camera, it's not even alleged with him. Like he does not like the camera. He does not like the person that she is around the women. He scolds her on that. And that is just a sign that that she may not come back. That's just
and if he didn't like her
exit strategy from him.
Yeah, I think she's doing that, I guess. If he didn't like her during filming, he's definitely gonna not like it when confessionals are being talked about, when you got to see flashbacks, when you got to sit there at the reunion. It's gonna be interesting. Like I said, my only thing with her is is there displaced energy that's going? Is she getting all frustrated in all these situations? But the reality is it's at the house that's really kind of maybe something to deal with. Not to talk about her, just wrapping up one more thing. You guys talked about the reunion, and I think, these dynamics are really, really interesting. And one thing I wanted to know, and I'm not like one that goes to do the the spoilers, but there was kind of it was alluded to in the trailer that yes, last season they got through, quote unquote, Monica, kind of going behind their backs in certain ways. and that something like that happened again. So I feel like coming up to the reunion, what are we gonna see? Like who?
It's the recording thing.
Oh, you already know the answer. Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, I mean, they've already teased it. Somebody apparently planned to record it in someone's room.
Recording in Meredith's room or somebody's room or something. And
it's more like the recording. It happens on a trip, so we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't want to think too hard on it because then we can be like, just like the black eye, like, oh my God, somebody got and then it just comes out to be a lie for 2 seasons. So we'll see. Well, thank you, Ronnie. We're gonna get out of here, okay?
To all the high body count hair people, cheers to you and to the panel and to everyone in the chat. Have a great night. Bye.
Bye, Ronnie.
Listen, shout out to the high body count hair and the hand job hair, because that's kind of hair I would like to have. Okay. All right, y'all. We have no more callers. So we're gonna get out of here. We thank y'all for watching. We're gonna be here every Thursday. Unless something happens. Make sure y'all like this video. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. If you're watching Potomac, we're here on Mondays at what time is it? Oh, at 8 Eastern. And then if you're watching Beverly Hills, we're here on Wednesdays at 8 Eastern as well. This show, we kind of fluctuate between 7:30 8 Eastern. But as of this weekend onward, I will not be on the West Coast for the remainder of the year. I will be on the East Coast, but the time will still be the same. I'll just be filming as late as y'all are for once. Wow. So we'll see y'all next time. Thank you, Shantae, and thank you, Antonio, and we'll see y'all. Okay, you have a good night.